guys, and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is, of course, Cameron, and welcome back today to another live stream. It is a Wednesday. Thought we'd do a little Ask Me Anything episode today. A little bit of a chilled one where we just sit down, we talk about absolutely anything you like, be it Everton, be it general life, anything, absolutely anything. So get your thoughts, get your comments in the live comments, and we'll be going through all of those as the stream progresses. I have got a couple of topics to jump into and talk about in the meantime as well, and in between different topics and different conversations, so we will get into them as well. How is everybody doing? It's Wednesday. We are literally about a week away from Everton going into a massive run of fixtures in December. Really busy run of fixtures. We were playing near enough, every other day. There's games in which we play, pretty much 3-4 times a week, and we're playing tough sides as well. We've got Chelsea, we've got Manchester City, we've got Man United in the Cup, we've got Arsenal, I believe, as well. So we've got a lot of Leicester as well. So we've got a lot of tough fixtures coming up. And it's massively important that we go out this weekend against Burnley, 12:30 on Saturday afternoon, and we get a result, because again, we are going into a really tough run. We're not just going into a run where we're playing, constantly 2 or 3 times a week, like I said, but we're going into a run where we're playing, decent sides, really good sides, 2 or 3 times a week. So in the games against that side like Burnley, who aren't doing as well in the Premier League at the moment, same conversation as it was when we played Fulham a couple of weeks ago, we need to really be getting the 3 points. Nothing less than 3 points is acceptable at the weekend. And yes, we'd all like us to go out there and put in a fantastic performance and, absolutely blow Burnley away. But we need the 3 points, which for me is first and foremost. Like I said, I say it every single week. I say it every time I sit down here. If we win 1-0 and it comes off somebody's arse in the last minute, that'll do me. I'm absolutely happy with that as long as we get the win. But it would be nice to go out there and give Burnley a bit of a hiding, wouldn't it? It would be nice to go out there and win the game comfortably. We've done it before at Turf Moor a couple of seasons ago. I think it was Marco Silva's first season. I think we beat them 5-1. So it'd be brilliant to do that, but don't get me wrong, I don't want to get too greedy, certainly not after recent Everton performances. So 3 points is 3 points, and 3 points I'll take that. And especially given the Premier League this season is probably the most open it's been in a very long time. Usually you get one side or maybe 2 sides who run away with it, and the rest of the league in terms of 8th to 4th might be 8th to 3rd might be a bit open, and then 15th to 8th might be a bit open, and then the relegation fight might be close. But usually you've at least got that one side who are head and shoulders better than anybody else, and who everybody looks at within the first 2 or 3 games of the season and thinks, right, okay, you will be above everybody come the end of the season, you will win the league comfortably. Last season we had those over the park who done it. We had Manchester City a couple of seasons before, and I know it was tight 2 seasons ago, but it was only tight between Manchester City and Liverpool, wasn't it? Let's be honest, nobody else was in that conversation. Whereas you look at this season and some of the results that we've seen so far have been absolutely mad. Liverpool being beaten 7-2 by Aston Villa. Aston Villa, a side who, okay, were in decent form at that point, but last season barely survived, barely stayed in the Premier League. They went to the team that couldn't lose a game last season. They pretty much beat everybody, and they comfortably beat them 7-2. We seen a couple of days ago Fulham, who looked like they couldn't buy 3 points, beating a Leicester side who a lot of people had down to be fighting for the Champions League and having one of these fantastic squads that could compete with teams like Liverpool and Manchester City. Yet Fulham turn up at the King Power and absolutely blow them away comfortably, and it's a mad season. We've seen West Ham turn up on one occasion, and we beat them 4-0 at home in the Carabao Cup, and then they turn up against Manchester City and managed to get a point, turn up against Wolves and blow them away. So it really is a season where anyone can beat anyone, and I know we say that every single year, and I know the pundits like to put it out like that every single season, but let's be honest, it's not like that whatsoever. In previous seasons you've always had, like I said, that 1, maybe 2 sides who, let's be honest, you couldn't really see being beat unless it was by each other or in a freak result, where now you were to say to me, Manchester City play Fulham at the weekend, are you 100% confident Manchester City win? I'm not 100% confident. Same with Liverpool. You say Manchester City play, I don't know, West Brom at the weekend, are you 100% confident in City? No, I'm not, because it really looks like anybody can beat anybody at the moment in this league, and that means that come the end of the season, we probably will find ourselves sitting in a situation where we go, if only we beat Leeds, if only we beat Southampton, if only we beat Newcastle, look where we could have been. But that's going to be very similar for everybody. We've had a run of 5 games where we've only won 1 and we've lost 4. We've lost to Newcastle, Southampton, Newcastle, Southampton, Leeds and Manchester United, and yet we're still 5 points off top of the league. And, you know, reverse, I think we're 5 points off 15th, 16th or something like that. So it's very, very tight at the moment. That's why we done the stream on Monday about not panicking and about trusting the process and being able to criticise Carlo Ancelotti without wanting him sacked, because it's a very, very close-knit league at the moment, and for me, it's going to continue like that. I honestly don't see one team turning up and absolutely running away with it. I think everybody can be beaten by everybody. Has the lack of crowd got something to do with that, and will that change when crowds start coming back into football stadiums? Potentially, but ultimately we don't know that. We don't know that. Again, you can sit there and you can say, okay, well, the crowd has a massive impact on that, but I don't care what anybody says. Liverpool don't win that game against Aston Villa early on in the game with the crowd there. They got absolutely battered off the park all afternoon, similar with some of the other results that we've seen recently. So, I don't know, it's a difficult one. It's a very tight league, and, you know, everybody can lose, and not just lose, but lose by quite a considerable amount against anybody else. So it is important that we just, you know, look ahead to the future. We forget about the bad results. We take what we can from them. We learn from them and we move on. But anyway, it is an Ask Me Anything episode, so we will get straight into the live comments. If you're enjoying, by the way, so far, please do hit that like button. If you could share the stream, it would mean a great, great deal to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. I think we're 2 subscribers away from 3,100. So if you've already subscribed, big, big thanks. If you know somebody that may enjoy the channel that hasn't, please do share the channel so we can get as many people in as possible. Everton Botch says, hey Cam, how you doing? Yesterday was my birthday. Happy birthday, mate. Happy belated birthday for yesterday. I'm not too bad. To be honest with you. I was in the car before driving I wasn't driving, I was in the passenger seat. My dad was driving, and we were on the way for something to do with work, and a Christmas song come on in the car. It was Fairy Tale in New York, and I just sat there and I just thought, you know what? Christmas is a good time of year, isn't it? It's a cheerful time. I know it's not good for everybody, and I know it can be a sad time for everybody, but for me, it's a good time. It's a time to be positive. It's a time to be happy. It's a time to enjoy. Certainly, with the year that we've had, it's been an absolutely atrocious year for near enough everybody around the world, not just in this country. I think I said it either on yesterday's stream on the TheMightyBlues YouTube channel. Check that out if you haven't already. Me and Jordan sat down. We talked about VAR. We talked about Nazin Kunku. We talked about Anthony Gordon as well. But I think I either said it on that one or I said it on Monday. He said not many times in somebody's lifetime. It's quite rare that, you know, we're all pretty much sitting here, no matter where you're from, where you grew up, you know, what country you come from, what language you speak. We're all sort of sitting there with one thing in common, and that has been that this year has been pretty shit and has affected literally everybody in the world. So I heard the Christmas song come on the radio and I thought, no, you know what? You know, let's time to be positive, time to be happy. It's Christmas, it's boss, you know, festive coffees and that in the coffee shops, and, you know, nice Christmas tunes and trees and all of that, and cold nights. I just love Christmas, to be honest with you. So I thought we'd sit down, we'll do a little bit of a chilled stream, we'll do an Ask Me Anything before we get into the chaos of the next couple of weeks, which is just going to be preview, review, instant match reaction. Obviously, we're still going to have the news content and other streams on other topics, but it's going to be very, very heavily, you know, reviews and previews, because we're playing constantly. Everton Botch says, thoughts on the 3 at the back formation. I personally don't like it. Also, what do you think our ideal formation should be? I think the 3 at the back / 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it, formation works at times. I think it works when you've got 2 very good natural wing backs, aka full backs with pace and attacking threat, i.e. Luca Dean, i.e. Seamus Coleman. It doesn't really work when you're shoehorning players into those positions and expecting them to be those type of players. You know, again, Alex Iwobi done very, very well at right wing back against Fulham, but he can't play on the left-hand side. So when he was put at left wing back against Leeds, we almost instantly knew that it wasn't going to work. Tom Davies, as well as he played, and I thought he was okay, he wasn't blessed with an awful lot of pace, so he was never, ever going to, you know, be able to perform at the highest of his ability as a wing back. So, again, I'm not a massive fan of it. If you'd have said Luca Dean's fit and Seamus Coleman are fit, I wouldn't be massively against playing it again, because I think those 2 players benefit from that type of formation. Certainly Luca Dean, looking at him against Fulham, you know, 2 assists, he was absolutely brilliant, he was fantastic in that game. But, you know, generally, I'm not a massive fan of it. I'm just not. I think it causes a lot of confusion. I think players are moved about too much during games. I think the defence is massively confused, whether it be Godfrey, Mina, Keane, Godfrey, Keane, Holgate. There just seems to be confusion as to where where players need to be and the roles of those players. I think if you've just got a flat back four, your fullbacks know what they're doing and your centre halves know what they're doing, then there's no excuses there. Whereas if you've got three in defence and then two fullbacks, and then you're thinking, your centre halves thinking, well, do I need to be here or do I need to cover him a fullback? I just think it causes a little bit of confusion. So no, I'm not a fan of it. In terms of ideal formation, it's difficult because Carlo Ancelotti's chosen a lot of formations since he's been manager at Everton Football Club. We've had a 4-4-2 when he first come in with Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. We've had the 4-3-3, obviously with James playing on the right. We've had the 5 at the back formation. We played the 4-3-2-1 at one point as well, or 4-2-3-1, sorry, at one point. So the answer is I don't really know what our ideal formation is at the moment. I would like to say it's a 4-3-3 because I think that's the formation that we've played the best football in so far this season. But I think that we've still got room to improve with that formation as well. I think we need to bring in a natural right winger who's got an awful lot of pace, who can pretty much emulate what Richarlison does on the left-hand side, so we can move James into the middle. Maybe a formation which allows two wingers, a centre forward, and then a number 10, and then two defensive midfielders. I don't know. It's a difficult one to say because we've tried an awful lot of formations and we're still trying more formations, week by week, because Carlo hasn't figured out what works best for the team at the moment. I think we're still lacking a couple of players, to be honest with you. Liam says, "Hey Cam, love the vids. Would you play 5-4 at the back against Burnley?" Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it. I'd play 4 at the back, to be honest. I'd go with a flat back 4. I'd probably go with... sorry, a little bit of a tickly throat there. It's not what you think it is. It's just the fact that I haven't drank enough water today. I'd probably go with Nkunku at left back. I don't know. John Joe Kenny's fit. I'd probably put him in at right back. If not, maybe Mason at right back, and then Keane and Godfrey at centre half, or Keane and Mina at centre half. I don't know. It's going to be difficult because obviously we've got Coleman, who's still currently out. We've got Dean, who's still out. We don't know our best centre back partnership really because Mason Holgate still clearly isn't fit. Geordie's still out on whether Ben Godfrey is ready. Yerry Mina's had inconsistency so far this season, so it's difficult, but I'd definitely go with a 4 at the back because, like I said, I don't think you can play wing back, unless you've got two really, really good wing backs going forward. And ultimately, if Carlo doesn't trust Niles Nkunku, we haven't got that. And even if he does trust Niles Nkunku, we haven't really got one that you can play on the right who you would expect consistency from. Maybe Iwobi, but again, where's the consistency from Iwobi? If you are enjoying, by the way, please do hit that like button. Like I said, share the stream. You can ask questions about absolutely anything. By the way, it can be about Everton, it can be about food, it can be about Christmas, it can be about absolutely anything. Hence the title of the live stream. So get your questions in. The more mad ones about various different things, the more interesting, because then we can start to learn a little bit more. Jaden says, who do you think we should go for in the next transfer window? To be honest with you, it's a difficult one, Jaden, because I really don't know. I honestly don't know. Put it this way, what I will say is I don't think Everton will be doing much business next month. In January. I really don't. Marcel Brands notoriously doesn't work in January. We've still got a lot of players who we need to get off the wage book. A lot of these, dead wood players, if you like. So I honestly don't think we should be expecting an awful lot of business from Everton in January. Might we sign a player or two? Potentially. Might bring somebody in on loan. Might bring somebody in, maybe one player on a permanent signing. I would expect a loan, if anything, because we've been dragged into the January transfer window in previous years. Look at the Tosin and Walcott window, for example, where we spent 50 million on two players who, let's be honest, haven't really given back. I mean, Walcott's been a decent servant, but has he been £30 million worth a decent servant? I don't think so. So I don't expect much from January whatsoever. So if you're asking me about next transfer window, I always look to the summer. And I honestly think we need a right winger. To be perfectly honest with you, who that is, I don't know. I'd love Ismaila Sarr from Watford. I really, really would. I think I said this in a live stream a couple of weeks ago without repeating myself. I've started watching Ben Foster's YouTube channel. Ben Foster, the goalkeeper for Watford. Never used to like him. Used to think he just used to time waste constantly. But he does YouTube videos now where he basically it's around his passion for cycling. But he films games and he films the day and the behind the scenes and stuff. And he actually films the games by putting the GoPro in the corner of the goal and filming it from his sort of point of view, if you like. And I've watched a couple of his videos over the last couple of weeks or so, and Jordan, that footage of the game, all as you hear Ben Foster shout is, well done Ismaila, well done, well done, well done. He's just constantly giving him praise, and I think we saw from him in the Premier League last season, he's a fantastic, fantastic young player. Will it be difficult to sign somebody like him? Absolutely, because I think the top clubs will be sniffing around him in the summer, certainly if he continues to have a decent season for Watford, and definitely if they get promoted. But ultimately, look, I think we need a right winger, a natural right winger, and then look to maybe drop Hammers back into the centre of the midfield. Right back, I think, is an absolute necessity. We need to go out and buy a long-term replacement for Seamus Coleman, because Seamus hasn't got an awful lot left at the tank in terms of playing constantly every single week, and I do think it's quite evidently clear that the club don't fancy John Joe Kenny as a replacement, and to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not convinced about John Joe Kenny as a long-term replacement for Seamus either. So I think right back, I think right wing, maybe central midfield to fill that spot next to Decore and Alan, depending on how Gomez improves this season and whether Iwobi plays there. So yeah, listen, there's a lot of positions in which we need to strengthen it. In terms of specific players, I honestly don't know. I'd say Ismaila Sarr would be one of them at the top of my list anyway. Uden says City Council confirms support to return decision. I haven't seen that one. Is that the one talking about the season ticket holders? Wayne says, good evening, chaps. Good evening, Wayne. How you doing, mate? Kev says, at the moment, we could be beat by anyone, and it would not surprise me at all. That's true, mate. But I think that's the same for anybody, mate. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if Man City or Liverpool were beaten by anybody in this league. It just wouldn't, because it's a mad, mad season where anybody seems to be able to beat anybody. I mean, West Ham were in the top 5 or 6, I think. And I think I had a comment on one of my videos a couple of days ago, and I don't know whether it was sarcastic or not, but I practically had a comment that said, look at West Ham, they're 5th, should we have gone back for Moyes? And it's like, mate, we absolutely bladdered them in the Carabao Cup about 5 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer. They're 5th, they're in a decent run, they could be 15th in 4 weeks' time if they go on a bad run, and we could be 1st in 3 or 4 weeks' time if we go on a very good run. So, again, I wouldn't take too much from the league positions at the moment, because they will fluctuate massively between now. You know the way they usually say you can look at the Premier League table at Christmas time, and you can sort of gauge, where their teams are and where they're going to finish. They usually say, if a team's top at Christmas, then very rarely do they not win the league. I think it's only happened on 2 occasions, and it was the same team on both occasions. No prizes for guessing who that was. And then they usually say, whoever's in the European places at Christmas will be in and around there at the end of the season. I think that's thrown out the window for this season. I honestly do. One reason is because the season started a month later, started in October rather than September. So we're actually only 2 months into it, or we will only be 2 months into it rather than 3 months into it. And secondly, because like I said, anybody can beat anybody. So, Tottenham might be top of the league come Christmas and might finish 5th, 6th at the end of the season. Man City might be top of the league and might finish 3rd. West Ham might be in the top 4 at Christmas and might finish 8th. You don't know, because it like this season, like I said, is so open, and teams are just turning up week in, week out, and 1 week being absolutely bladdered, and the next week turning up and beating one of the top sides in the Premier League. So it's difficult. It is difficult, but ultimately, I think, at the end of the day, I wouldn't take too much from the fact that anybody can beat us, because I think we can beat anybody on our day as well. But there is stuff to improve. I'm not saying I'm around by any means and saying, right, anybody can beat us, but anybody can beat anybody, so we don't have to think about anything. We need to make sure that we're the first team that people go, right, we can beat everybody in this league except Everton. We're not going to get a result against Everton. They are very, very good. And I'm not saying we're on a level playing field, because I think teams like Man City and Liverpool have got better and bigger squads than Everton. But I think we're on a similar playing field to a lot of sides at the moment, as that, there's definitely a sort of an opportunity there to strengthen the squad and to, bring that stability. And I think if we do, then we'll be in good shape for the next couple of years or so. The Blue Boys Network has donated £2 to the live stream. Massive thanks. I assume it's Mike, might be John. Massive thanks, Mike. Really appreciate it. He says up the Toffee sub to Cam. Thank you very much. We are only 2 subs away from 3,100, but we were before starting the live stream. So if you could sub to us, it would mean a great deal. Got a little bit of a teaser to fly out at the end of the live stream as well, so if you stay right to the end, there is a little bit of a teaser of something that will be coming within the next couple of weeks or so, so look out for that one. Don't bother asking me about it, because I'm not going to mention it until the end of the stream. Wayne says, I'd rather we beat Burnley 1-0, kept the clean sheet, than a 4-1 or a 3-2. Yeah, you know what, that's a very good point, to be honest, Wayne. That is a very good point. I think I said it before the game against Leeds, which ultimately means absolutely fuck all now because we lost, but clean sheets are very important for Everton at the moment. Not many teams are getting clean sheets, and Everton certainly aren't getting clean sheets. We haven't had a clean sheet in the Premier League since the opening day. We haven't had a clean sheet this season since the second game, which I think was against Salford in the Carabao Cup. So getting a clean sheet at the weekend would be absolutely massive, and I agree with you, Wayne, I would take a 1-0 over a 3-2. Listen, if you said to me now, would you take an 8-1 and you absolutely blather them and you can see the silly goal, I'd probably take that because I think that'd do the team more confidence, but I'd much rather a 1-0 than a 3-2 or than a 4-3. I'd just much rather the clean sheet, add the confidence from that, and then go and win the game of football ultimately, because clean sheets are very important. Wayne says, hey everybody, Camlad, how's everyone doing? I'm not too bad, mate, how are you? Wayne says, happy birthday, Botchers, spots on. He says, good evening, Wayne, how's you? Wayne says, I love Crimbo songs. My missus hates being in the car with me when they come on because I have a good sing-along. You've got to have a sing-along at Christmas, haven't you? You've absolutely got to sing to Christmas songs. Let us know your favourite Christmas song in the live comments. Let us know. And if you're watching the YouTube video, let us know your favourite Christmas song in the comments of the YouTube video. You just have to sing, don't you? And even if you don't sing, you can be in the biggest fuming mood ever, and you'll hear like Fairy Tale of New York come on, and you'll just think, nah, you know what? It's Christmas soon. Yeah, it's Christmas. Everton, conceding goals left, right and centre, but it's Christmas soon, so it's sound. Mike has donated another £2. Thank you very much, mate. Honestly, it means a massive amount to me. I'm sure you all sub to Mike and the Blue Boys Network anyway, but if you don't, go over and check them out, of course. You don't need me to tell you that. But brilliant channel. He says nudes, that's what's coming. It's definitely not nudes, mate. It's an OnlyFans. It's not an OnlyFans, I'm only messing. It's definitely not an OnlyFans. Trust me, you wouldn't want to see that. Eugene says, Everton tip to reunite with Ancelotti with another Napoli star. I'm not sure who that is. You have to give me a bit more information in the comments about that one. Whammy says, why did Godfrey play right centre-back and Holgate left centre-back? Holgate is associate left centre-back. Am I the only one who thought Godfrey was meant to play left centre-back? I don't know, to be honest with you, mate. I don't know. Like I said, I think that 5 at the back, 3 at the back, whatever you want to call it, I think that formation just causes a lot of unnecessary confusion between the defence. On Saturday against Leeds, we had about 5-6 different players during that game of football that played fullback. Obviously, we started with Iwobi. We started with Iwobi and Davis. We then at one point had Delphin there. Decore went there at one point. Godfrey went over there at one point. So, I just think it was a lot of change and it was a lot of unnecessary confusion. And for me, I just much prefer that flat back four where every single player in it knows their job. If you've got somebody like Luca Dean in there, he's very good going forward anyway, so he doesn't need to play in a wing back role. Seamus Coleman obviously is very experienced, knows his stuff, and then the centre half know what they need to do rather than having a back five. And let's be honest, the back five formation, or 3 at the back, whatever you want to call it, is put in there for teams to have more stability defensively and to work better defensively. I don't mind a 5 at the back formation if you're winning a tough game. If you're beating Chelsea or you're beating Man United or you're beating Spurs 2-1 in the last 6 minutes, and you fling on, that's not even a word, and you throw on another centre half and you're making a 3 at the back, 5 at the back formation to shore it up. I don't mind that. What a 5 at the back formation should do, let's be honest, because you've got that extra centre half, is shore your defence up an awful lot more. Okay, the fullbacks are a lot more attacking, but usually when you defend them with 5 players, including 3 centre-halves. It hasn't done that for Everton. We've played it in 2 games against 2 promoted sides, and we've conceded 3 goals from it. And we could have conceded an awful lot more as well than 3 goals, to be perfectly honest with you. So it's clearly not working, and I'd like to go for the 4 at the back. formation. But in terms of your question about Godfrey and Holgate, I don't know, mate. I honestly don't know. Again, that's another question that, you know, we can pose to Carlo. Probably won't answer it, but it's another you know, important bit of criticism that I think you know, you have to sort of speak out about. If you're enjoying, by the way, please do hit that like button. Don't forget to share the stream, of course, as always. Kev says, just get rid of these players like Davis and Co. Sell them cheap, just get them gone. There's a lot of players that we need to move on, and that we need to get out the club ultimately in order to improve. Is Tom Davis one of them? I don't know. I suppose that's down for everybody to decide. I actually don't mind Tom Davis as a squad player. I think there's other players in that club that need to be sold before Tom Davis. Wayne says, Wayne is crazy. I don't understand. Wayne says, honestly think just need to play people in position. Potentially, Uden says, who do we need to sign in January? Don't expect much from January. Don't expect much. And then if things happen, you can be like, get in, is right. Things have happened. Maybe Isco. I don't know though. I don't know. William says, especially when you put Iwobi there at left centre back, so now two right-footed players playing left. That's God disaster written all over it. Iwobi can't play on the left. I've said it before. I'll say it again. He can't play on the left. He can't play left full back. He can't play left midfield. He just can't play on the left. He is much better on the right hand side, as we saw against Fulham. He just can't play on the left, so stop playing him in positions on the left hand side of the pitch. Kev says Koulibaly, I'd love him, but he cost an awful lot, and he is getting on at the moment. Kev says Davis, Iwobi, Gylfi, all of these players are subpar, and I'd be happy to unload these as much as a new signing. Well, that's a big part of our next couple of transfer windows. Is, you know, we can talk about how important it is to bring players in and to sign players, and that is vitally important, but it's also massively important for me to, you know, move on those players that haven't got a future at the football club, who are being paid, you know, 150 grand a week or 100 grand a week. Those players that you look at and you think, right, you're not really going to have much of a future here, but you're still getting paid an awful lot of money. So, you know, that's a big part of the you know, the coming transfer windows as well. Tavel says, Cam, have you seen the Everton fan and Liverpool fan postcode statistics? Less than 6,000 Reds in Liverpool postcodes. Not slating them, just saying that they always say the city is red. It's not. Yeah, I seen the screenshot today. I think it was something like 25 or 35,000 Evertonians are season ticket holders with an L postcode, aka living within the city, and I think there was only like 6,000 Liverpool fans. Yeah, look, it's material, isn't it? It is material. Certainly when they say, oh, there's more Liverpool fans in this city than there is Everton fans. Yeah, whatever, mate. All right, keep believing that. But again, you know, it was about fans returning to stadiums, wasn't it? The topic, but I did see it. To be fair, when we said should put Holgate right back, Keane right centre back, obviously left centre back, and then Nkunku left back. I'd like that. I would like that. Listen, I'd love Nkunku to have a go, but to be honest with you, I'm really not confident that he'll be put in there. Just because if he wasn't put in there against Leeds, then you know, I don't know. I just think, with the likes of Nkunku, and I think the same with Anthony Gordon, when Richarlison was suspended, it seems like the more obvious of a decision it is to play those players, the less likely Carlo is to play them. It's like, you know, okay, everybody's injured who can play on the left-hand side, surely Anthony Gordon's got to play, and somehow the team sheet comes out and you've got like Jonas Lersel playing left wing because Anthony Gordon's not in the squad. And I don't know why that is. Again, that's another big thing for Carlo to answer ultimately. And obviously, you know, it's a situation that only Carlo knows the reasons for. But, you know, I would like to see Nkunku there, to be perfectly honest. I would like to see Holgate and Keane together as a two. Keane and Godfrey together as a two. Dunring says, why do they constantly play Alex Iwobi out of position? He hasn't played where he should once since he joined the club. Setting him up for failure. They should go and play him properly or let him go. You know, you're right, to be honest. I think, listen, it's difficult because with Alex Iwobi, for me specifically, I don't really completely understand his best position. I know he was brought in as a number 10 who can play across the midfield, and we haven't seen enough of him in that position. For me, we haven't seen enough of him in that extra midfield role. I would absolutely love to see a midfield three of Iwobi, Decore and Alan, with James on the right-hand side, right wing, Richarlison left wing, and Dom up front, just to see how that worked. But I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon. I don't know, to be honest with you. Maybe Carlo feels that Iwobi doesn't provide enough defensive cover, but to be fair, against Fulham, defensively he done okay. So, you know, I don't know. ultimately. DG said Everton should definitely spend in January. Wim says if we don't sign a right back and a pacey right wing, we will struggle for top 6. Agreed, mate. Kev says, what do you make of BBC commentator who got sacked for saying the handbags are out? I didn't see that, mate, to be honest. I didn't see that. That's news to me. I don't know. Like I said, I can't comment on it because I didn't see it. But again, it's one of those situations, isn't it, really, where I don't know what they sacked them for, what they were intending to say. I don't know. I don't know because I didn't see it, so I'll have to read into it, to be honest with you. Harold says, Godfrey is a clone of Holgate, bigger and stronger. We don't need Holgate. Sell him. I don't think we should sell him. I think he's a very good young player. Women says, Gabaman, still to come back. DG says, Gomez looked proper last game. Maybe his fitness is getting better. He looked better. He did look better. I'm still not convinced that he's good enough to be starting at the moment, but he looked better, to be fair. Wayne says, good evening, Bluebirds Network, nice to see you here. DJ says, what do you think about City at 12 million injury risk, but at 12 million is it worth the risk, despite having many centre-backs? It's very cheap. Wayne says, DJ, I'd take the risk with him, mate, defo. It's very cheap for a player in this day and age. He is injury prone, to be fair, and he has spent a lot of time on the injury bed, and there would be a reason as to why Barcelona would be selling him. I don't know whether we need another centre-back, to be perfectly honest with you. I wouldn't be particularly happy if Everton targeted the centre-back in the next couple of transfer windows, just being honest, because I think as much as you might say, we've been poor defensively, as much as you might say, we've struggled defensively. We've just signed a 20-odd, 30-odd million pound centre-back last summer. We've got two 30-odd million pound centre-backs in Mina and Keane. We've got a young centre-back in Holgate. We've got Branthwaite who come in, who's had some Premier League experience. So I would be quite disappointed if Everton targeted the centre-back in the summer, because I think there's other positions that we need to target over centre-half. But, it wouldn't be a massive risk at 12 million, but I think his wages will be quite astronomical, to be honest with you. So, Kev says, I've got a phobia of Crimbo, but I can't find the proper name for it. He also says, Wayne, I've ruined many a family Crimbo, I'm best left alone. Listen, like I said, it's not for everybody, but I just love Crimbo, to be honest with you. I love Crimbo. We will be continuing with the live comments. Let's get some non-Everton related comments in as well before we finish up, so we can just talk about some other different things as well. We'll answer all the Everton ones, of course. Really do appreciate everybody throwing the live comments in. Honestly, it means a massive amount to me. If you're watching live, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Like I said, little teaser coming at the end of the live stream for something that will be happening within the next couple of weeks or so. Hernandez says, with the links to centre midfielders and centre-backs in January, where do you think the most important spot we need to cover in January? That being said, looking forward to the summer, where would you like to get better as well? Very good question. Very good question. For me, I think right back in the summer. Absolutely right back. We need a long-term replacement. I can't stress enough. I said it in the summer. That summer transfer window that we've just got. Look, I understand that there was big issues in the summer that we needed to solve. We needed to buy a whole new midfield practically. And, we needed to bring in players that can make a difference. And we've done that. I understand that. But that summer just gone should have been the summer for me where Everton looked to bring in that Luca Dean type of player for the right-hand side. AKA that type of player that comes in, plays week in, week out, and allows Seamus Coleman to sit on the bench and only come in when needed and maybe play a couple of cup games. Seamus Coleman, as we've seen already, 10 games in, hasn't got the fitness to play 38 games in a Premier League season. And at the moment, when Seamus Coleman isn't there, we are either shoehorning somebody in at right back, or we're playing a young lad who I don't think the manager believes is good enough. And to be fair, I don't really believe John Joe Kenny's good enough, certainly not to replace the quality of Seamus Coleman. So for me, right back is an absolute necessity next summer. I don't think we'll bring a right back in January. I think maybe a loney winger in January, or maybe a loney central midfielder to fill that gap in the centre of the middle next to Allen and Decore. But the summer for me, it's right back all day long, and right winger, like I said before. But like you said, I think as like I said before, I wouldn't be expecting an awful lot in January because we don't notoriously do an awful lot of business in January. Plus, like somebody said before in the comments, we have got a lot of players that we need to shift before we can start throwing 50, 60 million pounds at other players, let's be honest. Wayne says, get yourself a shed like me, Kev. Harold says, Moise Keane will never score a lot of goals for Everton. He needs a team that play free-flowing football and not structured slow football like Everton. Mad. You may be right, Harold. You may be right. Was Moise Keane brought up? Have I missed something there? Or was that just a statement? You know, fair enough. Look, fair enough. He's doing really well in France. So, as far as I'm concerned, good luck to the lad. Well done for doing really well in France. And go on, crack on. Listen, win-win for Everton if Moise Keane plays well for PSG, because he comes back full of confidence and smashes it for Everton. Or there's a slight chance we can make a profit on him in the summer. Hernandez says, also, I understand we genuinely don't do big business in January, but it's worth the ask. Cold ball as well, mate. If you manage to get a ticket to the match live stream, thank you very much, Hernandez. I'm not too bad. I hope you are doing well. I'll probably do a little vlog of it, to be honest. I won't be able to live stream the match because the channel would probably just get completely turned down. But I'll probably do a little vlog of the day just to see, just for everybody to see, but also for me to look back on in a couple of years and think, you know what, I was mad that time that I went to ground and I was one of only 2,000 people because of, you know, the situation in the world. But in terms of your other question, I know we genuinely don't do big business in January, but it's worth the ask. It is worth the ask. Let me put this out to everybody then, because I'm really, really interested to know. You can look ahead to January. You can be there. You can sit there in your room. You can close your eyes and you can envision the 31st of January. 31st of January comes. Everton have made one loanee signing. It's a winger. No one too special. Somebody to come in, add a little bit of pace, and maybe hurt teams off the bench in the last 20 minutes of games on a 6-month loan till the end of the season. But we've managed to sell 3 or 4 players who were taking up a large part of the wage bill, i.e. Balassi, i.e. Besic, i.e. Tosin, and i.e. I don't know, let's throw somebody else in there, Sigurdsson, let's say those 4 players have, that's not likely, by the way, but let's say those 4 players have left in January and we've only signed one lad on a 6-month loan who, you know, isn't really going to get much game time. Would you take that? Would you take that knowing that in the summer then we've got more of a budget, more freedom and more room to add to the squad? Would you take that? Like I said, let us know. Jaden says, where do you think we will finish in the table at the end of the season? I think between 9th and 6th this season. John says, thoughts on signing Emi Buendia? I'm not 100% convinced, to be honest. I think he's a decent player. I do think he's a decent player. I don't know though, to be perfectly honest. I don't know enough about him to make a full judgment. I'd have to look a little bit more into him, to be honest with you, John. Kev says, I might look into that. Wayne says, A1 discount sheds heighten in the CS best sheds about. There you go. Robbie says, ideal finishing place, mate. Ideal 4th. Ideal 1st, really, isn't it? Let's be honest with you. But realistically, I think realistically ideal, I'm gonna say 6th. And people might say, oh, what? We barely beat Fulham. We lost to Newcastle. We lost to Leeds. How are we going to finish 6th? Like I said, we're 5 points off top place, and anybody can beat anyone in this league. So, ideal, realistic, I think 6th. But again, we do need to start sort of fixing some of these issues that we're seeing on a weekly basis. Hernandez says, as an American supporter, although there aren't a lot of season ticket holders, their global brand is much bigger than ours. Whenever I wear my Everton gear, I always get asked why I like them. You know, you're right, mate. Let's be honest, we hate them. We absolutely hate them, and it is boss to have a little bit of a laugh that, you know, locally they haven't got, you know, even a fraction of the amount of season ticket holders as we've got. But let's be honest, they'll just turn around and go, yeah, but globally, go to anywhere in the world and you'll see someone wearing a Liverpool shirt. You won't see many people wearing an Everton shirt. And you know what? As much as we hate that, and as much as you might say, oh, but that doesn't really mean much, it does. Because that's bringing them in shed loads of money every single year, which is allowing them to spend the money. Even though, you know, Mr. Happy Klopp likes to say that they don't spend any money and that they're, you know, self-sufficient and that they've won the league fairly. They haven't spent about 600 billion since he's been there. But they make a lot of that money off that global sort of, you know, I suppose outreach to international fans. So, you know, it is difficult to argue against, isn't it? John says, any thoughts on when they hit as a potential target? Just answered that. Wayne says, Hernandez, we're a family. That's why our fans love the club. They are a brand. Well, they're a business. they're a business like most football clubs are becoming at the moment, a business. And them and Manchester United are two businesses in England. And yes, they've got fans and they've got loyal fans, let's be honest, in the city. But they've also got a lot of fans that follow them because they are the brand and because of certain players. If you're enjoying, by the way, please do hit that like button. Really do appreciate it. We'll go through a couple more. Eugene says Luca Dean claims one Everton player has too much quality, plus an injury update. Yeah, it was about Hammers in an Instagram Q&A that he done. He basically was asked about what it's like to play with Hammers, and he said too much quality. There you go. But Philip says, go on YouTube, put in Everton fans versus Liverpool fans. Tom says, if you could have any Leeds player at the weekend, who would it be, and who would you swap them for? Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Rafinha, Kelvin Phillips, or Jack Harrison, but probably Rafinha or Calvin Phillips, because they both play in positions that we need to strengthen in. And I'd probably say Rafinha, to be honest. I don't know. Calvin Phillips would be absolutely saucy next to the Cordain Allen in that midfield, but I just think Rafinha was absolutely unbelievable at the weekend. And Anders says, I would love to see more Evertonians in the US. We watched Tim Howard on our telly, so that's helping a bit. Going to Goodison last year made me love the club more than I thought. Is right, mate, is right. Yeah, I think our US fan base will really, really sort of widen out now and broaden out now that obviously we're looking at, well, the club are looking at setting out, well, aren't we, we're a family. I just didn't want anybody to think it was the Mighty Blues that were setting up an office, but Everton are looking to set up an office in America, either in California or Miami, I believe. And hopefully they can get the shirts, they can get the kits in the sports stores over there, so it's a lot more accessible than just going on the internet and buying one. Philip says, sorry, the difference between Everton and Liverpool fans. William says, hi Hernandez. Hernandez says, what are you currently watching on Netflix or anywhere? I'm not currently watching anything at the moment. I've recently finished The Haunting of Bly Manor and The Haunting of Hill House, which I thought were absolutely brilliant, to be perfectly honest with you. Weren't massively scared by either of them. I thought The Haunting of Hill House was more scary than Bly Manor, but Bly Manor has got an absolutely fantastic story. I didn't know that they were related, by the way. I just thought they had very similar names. And then we watched Bly Manor first, me and the missus, and then we watched Hill House afterwards. And they've actually got, 4 or 5 of the same actors. They're directed by the same director. The storylines are not similar, but they're quite, there's sort of similarities in them. They're both surrounding about this house or this manor, in which there's children involved in the storyline. So they were absolutely brilliant, the pair of them. I would definitely recommend the both of them. Like I said, Bly Manor isn't as much of a horror. It is more of like a love story, and like a sort of one where you sit down and you watch and you think, wow, that's quite emotional. Hill House is quite scary, but it's absolutely fantastic. Some of the acting in it is brilliant. So yeah, we've recently finished watching them. They were fantastic. Before that, we watched The Fall with Gillian Anderson and Jamie Dunham in it. Again, absolutely unbelievable. If you haven't watched that, definitely watch that. Sex Education's a boss one to watch as well on Netflix. Really, really funny. So yeah, there you go. But nothing as of now, to be honest with you. We need to start a new series, to be honest, because it's getting to the point where we're watching I'm a Celeb every night, and it's a bit shite, isn't it? Let's be honest. When he says there was talk of PSG buying him in January, yeah, there was, but there's no buying clause in the contract. So I think anybody who wants to buy Moise Kean will have to wait until the summer. Kev says Mahrez, I'd love him. I'd absolutely love him, but I don't think he's realistic, to be honest with you. Williams says if Keane went to PSG in January, we could sign players. We need the right back and a right winger in Jan. Harold says Dominic Zombozlai is the player we should be demanding our club to get, even if we have to take up our play cards. DG says sell Keane, get Miller and a right back. Maybe, mate, maybe. Williams says, no, Cam, I honestly think if we don't get Europe, Richie will go next summer, and if Richie goes, we're 3 steps back. Yeah, that is a big worry, to be honest with you. That is a big worry. Again, I think you're looking at Richarlison, you're looking at Luca Dean as 2 players that if we can't promise them European football, and at least show them a progression in terms of getting towards Champions League football, then I think we will have a massive struggle on our hands to keep a hold of them. But ultimately, that's down to the club, and that's down to Carlo Ancelotti, isn't it? Kev says Balassi is probably the worst signing Everton have made. I can't think of many ways. We've made some bad signings, mate. We've made some bad signings. Davy Klaassen has got to be up there in terms of what he brought to the club. there's a hell of a lot of players that Everton have signed who have been dreadful, let's be perfectly honest with you. DG says, when is Gbamin back? Is he really good, or is it just a player's hope? Well, we don't know, do we really? And I suppose that's something that we can all take positively from, is that we've seen John-Philip Gbamin play twice in an Everton shirt, 3 times in an Everton shirt, so he will be like a brand new player coming into this squad. He'll be like a brand new signing, which is which is very, very positive going into a transfer window where we probably aren't going to spend an awful lot of money. If we can have him back fit, it will be a massive, massive boost, and hopefully he can fit into that team and he can bring what we've been lacking. But again, not too much pressure on the lad, because that would be a big, big ask. H Cup says Sel Bernard. Johnny says, what's up, Cam? How you feel about the growing push to grow fans in the US and South America? You think more young prospects can go from Everton from Colombia and Brazil? Spot on, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I think Everton have for years slept on this opportunity to really, really expand the brand. We talk about how, we're a proper football club and teams like United and Liverpool are just brands, but ultimately those brands bring in an awful lot of money, and those brands are worldwide. And if Everton can find a happy medium between being a football club, for local fans and all of that, we go the game mentality and all of that, as well as reaching out to everybody across the world, then we absolutely need to do that. We need to extend from just being that, but we're dead local and we all go the game and that. If we want to keep up with modern day football and the fact that modern day football is a business, we really need to expand globally. We need to start getting Everton kits in Brazil because of Richarlison, who is going to be a global superstar for Brazil already, a big figure over there. We need to get kits in Colombia. If you've got Everton kits with James plastered in Colombia, they are making millions a year, millions, because he is a superstar, he is an idol to them. We should have done it before we went a bit shit, because now they might look and go, oh, they're a bit shit then, but we need to be doing that. We need to be doing it in America. Get Everton kits out there with Tim Howard's name on, get Tim Howard t-shirts out there, get the name out there, get the brand out there. It's imperative that we do that, and I do think the club are taking a step forward in doing that with the office in the USA, with obviously the big media campaign around James' signing. So it's step forwards, but we still need to do an awful lot more. You're right, mate. Kev says PLC job, Bernard Manning. And Anders says, when Savile becomes available again, Cam, are you and Jess going on holiday, and where? We will be. We haven't booked anywhere yet, but we will be. Jess sent me a TikTok this morning of what's it called? I'm gonna have to get it up because I think it's British Columbia in Canada. British Columbia in Canada. It looks absolutely unbelievable. Me and Jess have recently got a puppy as well, a little puppy, so it is going to be difficult to travel, certainly for any extended period of time, so we don't want to leave the puppy. But yeah, we'll hopefully somewhere like Tenerife for a little summer holiday. Well, not summer, but hot holiday when we can go. Probably a couple of city breaks as well. Kev says, I had high hope for Klassen as well. That's what's done my head in. I think we all did, mate. Eugene says Everton to open fan ballot for Goodison return. Jaden says, what's your favourite show of all time? Mine is The Office UK. Don't know, I'm not a big television show person, to be perfectly honest with you. I didn't really watch many growing up. Not a massive Friends fan, never seen The Office, never seen Scrubs, never seen Shameless. I'm probably going to have to go with the generic answer of The In-Betweeners, because it's the only one that I've watched every single episode from and I absolutely loved. But in terms of television show that's on the telly, I'd go with that. In terms of Netflix type of show, I'd probably go with The Fall, to be honest. I think The Fall was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. 2 of the 3 seasons were fantastic. The 3rd season was okay, but I'd probably go with that. Philip says has the more we felt last year. I don't think so, Philip, and hopefully not. It's quite inaccessible, to be honest. You'd have to get a ladder to get to it. But I don't like all of that vandalisation. Even at the Liverpool ones, I just think it's stupid. And Kev says The Sopranos. I've never seen it, to be honest. I've never seen it, but it's one that's definitely on the list. Anyway, listen, we'll finish it up there. Then if you have enjoyed the live stream, please do hit that like button. It really does mean an awful lot to me. Like I said, we're so close to 2,100 subs now. 3,100 subs. So if you could subscribe, it would mean a great deal to me. We are back live 5:15 p.m. Friday night with the game preview ahead of our Premier League fixture against Burnley. Early kickoff on Saturday. Another early kickoff on Saturday. We'll obviously have the weekly news roundup out on Friday as well, so don't forget to look out for that one. Once again, a big thanks for watching. Big thanks to everybody for getting the comments in the live comments. If you're watching as a YouTube video and you want to leave some comments about some topics, leave them in the comments. I've said comments about 10 times there, and I'll get involved with as many of them, and I'll try and answer as many of them as possible. Nice little chilled one today. Obviously leading into the manic December period, which does start on Saturday. 12:30 kickoff against Burnley. Massive game for Everton. Must win. Nothing other than a win is acceptable. Hopefully a clean sheet. Like I said, we'll be back on Friday 5:15 with the live game preview. Philip says green wing or brass eye. I've never heard of either of them, mate. You know what? Only Fools is getting a mention as well, because Only Fools is absolutely brilliant. It's one of the best television series to ever come out of this country. It's absolutely boss. So Only Fools is getting a mentions as well. But yeah. Big thanks for watching. Toothy says Shameless US is really entertaining. I've seen little clips of it, but I've never watched the show. But I've seen little clips of it, and it does seem quite funny, to be fair. Yeah, big thanks for watching. Please do subscribe if you're new. Leave the video a like. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I will leave you with this little teaser. We'll wait a couple of seconds, but I will leave you with this little teaser for something that will be coming in the very near future. And by near future, I mean hopefully within the next week or so. It's very exciting. I can't wait. It's a big step forward for the channel. It won't be replacing anything. It will be adding to content. So Jane says, what was the teaser that you told us about? I'll show you in a second. I will show you in a second. Toothy says, Cam, do you talk to any Sunderland fans? What do they think of sacking a manager? I don't, to be honest with you, mate. I don't. I did see that, though. It was a bit mad, but I can't lie, I haven't spoken to any Sunderland fans about it, and Kev says yet the teaser. Well, we'll leave you with the teaser then. Big thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, 5:15 p.m. Friday night, we'll be back. Another live stream, game preview. We'll be doing our predicted starting 11s, talking about the game and talking about how important it is. Of course, weekly news roundup on Friday as well, as per usual. Big thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, enjoy this. And yeah, I'll see you on Friday. Big thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.